Hi guys! Hi guys, it's Man Looks Like a Yeti and I'm going to talk about my past week because it was so hectic. So for those of you who don't know, I absolutely hate driving with a passion, whether it's just driving to the shops or if it's like a 2-hour drive, no matter what. I hate driving, but I especially detest motorways. But last Monday, which was the 6th of March, Jack and I were at my house and we wanted to go bowling, but we couldn't afford it because bowling is expensive these days, I don't know why. And we were like, what do we do? We're so bored. Okay, let's drive back to Uni Halls, which is in the centre of London. So we drove back to the centre of London, and on the way we were thinking, Monday night is student night for one of Jack's favourite clubs back in his hometown up north, and the drinks are really cheap and it would be really funny, and we were like, why not? So we messaged our friends at university and said, look, we've got 2 spare seats, who wants to come up north with us? Only Tom came and we drove up north. What? That is ridiculous. It took about over 4 hours and we left about like 9ish. So we got there at like 1. Why? I didn't even tell my parents I was going, which I did tell them after, but it was all just a bit rushed and insane. But we met Jack's friends there and we had a really good night. And we got £1 Jaeger bombs and Jack and I did a Jaeger bomb shot race, which was great. Drink responsibly, kids. But then I somehow managed to get Jack kicked out of the club because I'm an idiot. So I went out with him and then it was all a bit emotional because we were a bit drunk and I was like, oh no, I've lost my car key, we're not going to be able to get home. And that was stressful, and then my phone smashed. So I was in tears, like absolute tears. It was ridiculous. But luckily Jack's friend let us sleep over there. And as I woke up I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? And I felt my pocket of my jacket and there was my car key. I'm an absolute idiot. And then on that Tuesday night we drove home back to University Halls at like 12 at night. Didn't get home till 4 a.m. Then I had a 9 a.m. lecture. I did go to it because always study, kids. Look at me trying to be a good role model when I'm just the worst role model ever. So I was exhausted. After my lecture finished at 1, I got into bed and fell asleep. I woke up shortly after and Jack was like, we were kind of invited to Oxford by my friend because she goes to university in Oxford University, which is so cool. And she wants us to visit. How could I turn down that? I was kind of running low on petrol and I was very, very poor. I drove home, filled up on petrol, luckily thanks parents. Then we drove to Oxford University and I actually took a wrong turn on the way, so I added on half an hour to our journey because I'm also very ditzy and I can't follow a sat-nav to save my life. And we got to Oxford University and we were shown around the campus and it is so cool. The halls look like villas. They have rooms that have ladders leading up to their beds, so there's like 2 floors to their rooms, and they have balconies, massive patches of grass that they aren't allowed to walk on. It looks like Hogwarts and everything's cobbled streets. It's so, so beautiful. I absolutely love it there. I wish I could go, but I'd never be smart enough. And talking about never being smart enough, so we went to some of the pre-drinks. The conversation was very, very intellectual, and I'm not the most intellectual person. I'm not stupid, but I could not catch up or keep up. I was kind of just zoning in and out because I didn't know what was going on. But then they talked to me about normal things as well, so that was great. And I really did enjoy it. They're just very smart. And Jack's friend kept saying, no, don't worry, we're not that smart, but they were. Like, they were drunk and talking about, I don't know, taxes. But then we went out to a club and it was really nice, and this club played kind of like old disco music, like the type of music my mum loves. So I knew all the words. That was really great. I actually loved that. And I think the club was called Emporium. Then we drove home. The next morning we had to wake up at 7:30 so that my car didn't get towed away. We drove home and I went to my lecture. We had a chill Thursday night and Friday night. Well, Friday night we kind of like gathered up with our friends from university.
Yeah.
on the Saturday, I promised my friend Laura I'd go visit her in her university, which is in Nottingham, and I drove all the way to Nottingham that morning. I had a really good time with Laura, and we caught up, and we went to a really nice restaurant called Boldego or Bellego, I can't remember how it's named.
So here is Laura at the restaurant with some mussels, risotto.
I think it specialises in mussels, so Laura got mussels and I got risotto, and it was so lit and dank and tasted delish. And then we went to the gym, and then I drove home the next day. My week has been insane and I barely got any sleep. This week I'm just gonna catch up. But I just want to say, like, how did I drive that much? I'm genuinely shocked. I'm gonna try and work out how much I drove. Right, 184 miles up to where Jack lives. So then double that, that's 368 miles. To Oxford it is 58 miles and back, so that's 484 miles altogether so far. Then to Nottingham, that is 125 miles, so that's 734 miles altogether in 1 week. But then we need to add in all the times I went home and back. And by the way, on the way back from Nottingham, I nearly broke down because I couldn't afford a petrol, so I had to stop at home to fill up and drive back to university. So to my house, that is 14 miles. And I did that journey about 3 times. 776 miles, I'm pretty sure, I think. Maybe someone can redo the maths because I might have messed up. Even so, it's over 500 miles and that is ridiculous. But now I'm actually more comfortable with driving because motorways make me feel really tired and they go on for so long, but I was playing music and I was singing along and I was actually kind of enjoying it. So maybe this was a great learning curve for me. Now I should focus more on my studies and stop driving all over the place. But what a week, I really enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, bye guys, squeeze ya!